made several videos in the past on quantifiable isometric equipment like the Bulwarker Steel Bow or Dragon Door Isochain, and how that can be a real game changer when it comes to your overcoming isometric training. However, if this isn't quite in your wheelhouse, I do recommend that what's most important for most people isn't to quantify the force production of isometrics, but to get more of a handle on quantifying the time you're holding those isometrics for. The reason for this may be simple. When I do an overcoming isometric, like a chest press on the ISO trainer, I just put in as much force as I can. And naturally, the longer you do an exercise for, the more that force production decreases over time. So in the interest of quantifying the experience as a whole, we want to make sure that the amount of time you're using is measured and consistent, since the output is almost always going to be maximal. Now, I recommend the GymBoss interval timer. I've been using this for years on just my smartphone. Of course, you can use regular GymBoss timers. They make a little pager size sort of thing, but I'm sure out there, if you've got a better smartphone app or tablet timer that you prefer, leave it down below in the comments section. But basically, it gives you the ability to program your timers for both how long you're holding the isometric for and your rest periods. And it all happens automatically. So all you do is you hit start, and it's going to tell you when to hold the isometric, when you can release, when to hold for the next set, and so on. Of course, when it comes to how long do you hold things for, it's still basically the same fundamental principle of dynamic training. When you have shorter durations, higher intensity, you're more on the strength end of the spectrum. When you have longer durations, naturally the amount of tension in your muscles will decrease over time, and that's more on the endurance and stamina side of things. So I've given you a little bit of some sample routines down below in the description. You can copy, paste them, use them as basic templates. It gives you more direction and structure to your training, so that way you have an increased chance of making progress over time. And of course, that's not to say that having an objective measurement of your force output from like the Isochain and stuff is not important, especially if you make isometrics a primary component in your strength and conditioning program. But it's not necessarily the only way to quantify your isometric training, especially if you're starting out. I recommend using some sort of an interval timer to give you the best leg up on getting what you want out of the discipline. More videos here. Let me know if you have questions down below. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit and live free.